In today's video, I'm going to share something different and maybe a little personal, and it's about how I lost over $180,000 on a single trade this year. And yes, you heard that right, it's a bit of a tough one, but I believe the lessons I've learned can help you avoid making the same mistakes. Stick around because this is packed with insights that will make you a smarter trader. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. Last year and the start of this year was a good period for me. The last summer saw me pulling over $600,000 just in profits, and September, October was even a greater period, pulling in about $300,000, and in total I've made around 1.6 million in profits in a few months. I was feeling like I was on top of the world, thinking this year could easily end with 3-4 million in profits if I kept up my strength. But then July 2024 came around and everything changed. I took a massive short position on Euro USD. I was convinced the market was going to flush. I opened 180 lots, not on the same level I split the position, but I was thinking that I was well positioned to ride the wave down. My stop was around 50 pips, but I was so sure that the trade will hold and I moved it. It was a big mistake. And let me quickly show you the trade. Okay, so the position was somewhere around the middle of the month, the middle of June. I wanted a big short, like you see here. I targeted those lows, and when I went back to lower time frames, I saw a big move to the downside, a big strong selling candle. My transaction was something like this. Opened it at the retest, had, as I told you, a 50 pip stop loss because I wanted to swing this trade as the lows were a big take profit, and the transaction would be something like this, a 1 to 5 risk to reward. And yeah, that's how it went. I was for a short period in profit, then price flushed away and stopped. It should stop me out, but then I expanded my something like this. Price started consolidating a bit around my entry area, then stopped me out. Now, talking about the mistakes I made, I have a few of them that you should note. I created a list of mistakes that you could learn from, so let's start. The first mistake is that the market is always right. At some point I was up on my position, as you just saw, but the market started ranging and eventually rallied. This is where I made my first major mistake. I didn't cut my loss. I was about 120,000 in profit or more at some point, and instead of exiting, I held on thinking my idea was still valid. Second advice, don't fight the news. Another major mistake was ignoring the power of news. I think it was the NFP who pumped a lot of liquidity into the market, providing massive support to Euro USD, but I didn't consider that the price will go up, and I held my short position. I was fighting the trend and, more importantly, fighting the big players. The third thing, position sizing matters. One thing is I was somehow prepared for that risk. I knew I could lose a lot of money, but I was up 1.5 million before taking the position, so I was risking 15-20% of my profits. After I moved the stop loss, it was more of a 30%, but just because you can risk it doesn't mean you should. This leads to another important takeaway: position sizing matters. Even though I was willing to lose $180,000, I didn't fully appreciate the psychological impact it will have. The aftermath of this trade wasn't pretty. After taking such a big hit, I found myself chasing losses. I took more bad trades, trying to short more, thinking the market would crash, and taking many more irrational positions. None of these trades were based on solid reason. They were emotional reactions to the big losses. Here is the thing: emotions cloud judgment. When you're down, it's easy to just get caught in trying to win it all back, but that just leads to more bad trades gains and deeper losses. But after that, I had a turning point. I needed a reset, the hard reset. After a few months of inconsistent performance and bouncing between small losses and gains, I realized I needed a break. So I took a few weeks off from trading completely. I think there were 3 weeks or so. I didn't look at charts, avoiding market. I was focused on other things like reading books, resetting my mindset, taking my health, sleep to the next level. That break was critical because it allowed me to step back and see the market with fresh eyes. I had been so focused on shorting the market, convinced it would make a new low, that I ignored other opportunities. And when I came back, I started trading smaller, focusing on consistency, not trying to hit those big juicy trades. And I think this is the key. Sometimes you need a hard reset. Taking a break can help you clear your mind and come back stronger. Another thing to focus on is consistency, not profits. Once I returned to trading, my focus shifted. It wasn't about making back the $180,000 I lost in a week. It was about finding my consistency again. I started making smaller, more manageable profits, 1,000 a day, 2,000 a day, 3,000 a day. It felt like a grind compared to my six-figure days, but it was necessary to rebuild my confidence. By September, I had found my rhythm again, started taking more swing positions, riding the market uptrend, and gradually my P&L began to improve. I'm currently up above $1.7 million for the year, which feels like a massive win considering where I was just a few months ago. As a recap, here is the most important lessons I've learned from this experience. The market is always right. Don't let your ego get in the way. Listen to price action. Don't fight the news. Understand external factors like monetary policy and liquidity injections. Position sizing matters. Even if you're profitable, be mindful on how much you risk on one trade. Emotions cloud judgment. After a big loss, don't change trades. Take a step back and reset. Focus on consistency. It's not about making all your losses at once. Build consistency and the profits will follow. The conclusion is taking a loss of this magnitude was painful, but it also taught me some of the most valuable lessons in my trading career. If you've taken a bit of a hit recently, don't let it derail you. Take a break, reset your mind and focus on getting back into your flow. Consistency is key. If you have any questions or want to share your own experiences, drop your comment below. And if you're fully interested in a full breakdown of my trades for the year, head over to my Instagram. You have my Discord, you have my TikTok. I have there all my trades. Thank you for the watch. I will see you on the next one.